folks, it's Kikoskia here. Let's do a Hearthstone arena, shall we? I have these three classes to pick from: the Warlock, the Hunter, and the Warrior. And I know which of these I want to pick, purely because I tend not to pick that class when I do arenas, and that is the Warrior.
None are stronger than I.
With weapons and charge minions, and all the shield slams and shield blocks, maybe I might be able to progress far with the help of the Warrior class. We shall see. I don't tend to pick the Hunter class because I never managed to get the Beast synergy going, and the Warlock class I don't tend to do well with in Arena, so let's go! And my first choices are a Goblin Sapper, a Ravenholt Assassin, and a Young Priestess. I like the idea of the Ravenholt Assassin, personally. Young Priestess is very early game. I'm not entirely sure I'll be able to do very much with that. By itself, it's not the best one-drop in the world. The Goblin Sapper relies on the opponent having a lot of cards in their hand, which in Arena they are not likely to, because you're not going to be seeing a lot of hand lock and that kind of stuff. I like the option of that late game 7-mana Ravenholt Assassin. It's not terrible. I'm gonna go with it. Ravenholt Assassin. At least it gives me some good late game already picked. Okay. Voodoo Doctor, Silverhand Knight, and Gnomeregon Infantry. Voodoo Doctor is not very good, in my opinion, especially as a second card. A Gnomeregon Infantry could see some use, but very weakly. It's a 1/4, it does charge, and it does have taunt, but it is one attack on turn 3. So I think Silverhand Knight. A good, reliable card. Nice and big presence on the board. Whirlwind, Mech Warper, or Dread Corsair. Dread Corsair, I'm relying on getting weapons. As a warrior, there is a good chance of that. Mech Warper is a pretty good and solid 2-drop, regardless of if you have any actual mechs in your deck or not. Whirlwind I have nothing it synergizes with, so I think it's going to be Mech Warper. Charge, Ironbeak Owl, or Dire Wolf Alpha. Well, I'm pretty much discounting the Charge card, because +2 attack and charge is not going to be particularly useful to me right now. Direwolf Alpha is okay, a 2/2, adjacent minions have +1 attack. Ironbeak Owl, however, it's giving me a very early opportunity to collect a silence, and I'm going to pick it, because you never know when you need silence in Arena. There is my first weapon, an Arcanite Reaper. And compared to the Argent Squire and the Warsong Commander, there is no contest. Arcanite Reaper it is. Good choice. Now, I've been presented with Commanding Shout, a Wild Pyromancer, or a Screwjank Clunker. Screwjank Clunker, there is only one actual mech in my deck right now, so it's not going to get that battle cry off reliably. However, Commanding Shout is not a great... It does cycle, it does draw a card. Your minions cannot be reduced below 1 health this turn, draw a card. It is card draw, in a way, but it's going to rely on me having a minion on the board that I want to keep alive really early on, and I don't see that. While Pyromancer is a decent 2-drop regardless, it's a 3/2, and some people do think that when you put it down, that it will have some spells following it, especially if you put it down on turn 2. However, I'm looking at Commanding Shout again. It's not good. It's not a good card, and I'm only 5 cards in. I can get more reliable card draw elsewhere. While Pyromancer, I think it is. Okay, Elven Archer, Direwolf Alpha, or Battle Rage. There is perhaps some better card draw, as friendly characters does count your hero. I might in fact pick Battle Rage purely as an option for some card draw. Elven Archer, not a great choice. Direwolf Alpha, passable, but we already have 3 2-drops, so I'm actually going to pick Battle Rage. It might be a mistake, but it does guarantee me some card draw. Okay, we have Dread Corsair again, which I think I might actually take. Fen Creeper is okay, but it's a very late game card, and Rampage, give a damage minion +3/+3. I think I'm going to pick Dread Corsair. If nothing else, it's a 4-drop, and if I pick up another weapon, it might be quite valuable. It's probably a mistake. Fen Creeper is a reliable taunt. It's a 3/6 for 5, but Ascension Shieldmaster's a 3/5 for 4. You're paying 1 extra mana for 1 extra health. And Rampage, we'd need a minion already on the board that's damaged, and I don't see many minions right now that are going to survive being damaged. So, Dread Corsair. The age-old question of Scarlet Crusader versus Spider Tank, and I think because we have a Mech Warper, it's going to be Spider Tank. And now we are presented with Blood Knight, Bouncing Blade, or Murloc Warleader. Ooh, well, let's just discount Murloc Warleader for a moment, because we don't have any Murlocs. Blood Knight. Divine Shield minions do get picked in Arena, but it's a 3-drop as well. It's not a terrible 3-drop, but Bouncing Blades could very much be used, especially if there is only 1 enemy minion on the board, to kill a minion. Besides, it is a really unpredictable card. It could be fantastic for me. It could also be dreadful. And for that reason, I'm going to pick Bouncing Blade. Might not be the best choice, but if there's only 1 enemy minion on the board, it's a guaranteed removal. Because it will keep hitting that minion until that minion dies. Bouncing Blade it is. Besides, it could go horribly wrong. And now we have the choice of Death's Bite versus Chillwind Yeti. Ooh. I'm actually half tempted to pick Death's Bite here. Chillwind Yeti's a good, solid minion though, but we do have a Dread Corsair, and we already have a weapon. 2 weapons, however, never hurt anyone. If I was playing a different class and Death's Bite was not the option, I would pick Chillwind Yeti, just immediately. But I want the weapon, so Death's Bite it is. And now I'm presented with Gnomish Inventor, Jungle Panther, or a second Battle Rage. I already have 1 Battle Rage, I don't need 2. A Gnomish Inventor, on the other hand, yeah, I can do with card draw. Ooh. A third option at picking Battle Rage, Cleave or an Execute. Execute is a wonderful piece of removal. We're going for it. Ooh, Korkron Elite, a Neutron, or Iron Fur Grizzly. I'm actually half tempted by a Neutron. It's a very nice early game card, but Korkron Elite is also very good. Ooh, they're both good. They're both good. How many 4-drops do I have? I have 2 4-drops and a weapon. They're both good. Iron Fur Grizzly is not even being considered here. When a Neutron is there, Iron Fur Grizzly is not as good. Tricky choice. We don't have any minions with charge. We don't have any minions with charge. Having a charge minion might actually be pretty good. I'm going with Korkron Elite here. I have 1 Mech Warper and a few mechs. Well, 1 other mech. But I'm going with Korkron Elite. But a Neutron. That is actually a really difficult choice. One of them is a really good charge. 4/3 is really good. But chances are that's going to die to... You've got to pick the charge. I don't have a charge minion. Charge minions can win you games. I need to pick that. I've picked it now. Fiery War Axe. Always pick it when it's there. Cleave or Dancing Swords? I'm actually going to pick Dancing Swords here. Probably. Cleave is interesting. It's a nice piece of early game damage dealing. Got no spell power. The only spells I actually have are Battle Rage, Execute, and Bouncing Blade. So I have a better piece of removal there with Bouncing Blade. I'm going to pick the Dancing Sword. Arathi Weaponsmith is a decent 4-drop, provides me with a weapon, but that's a 4/4 for 3 mana. I'm going to go with Dancing Swords. It might be a terrible decision, but it is a nice, beefy minion that it does draw a card for my opponent, though. I have a lot of 2-drops, though. I already have a weapon, 3 2-drop minions, and a 2-drop spell. So I'm going to pick Dancing Swords. It might be a mistake, but I already have 3 weapons. I might not need a 4th. Dancing Swords, I think. Okay, and now a terrible choice. Thralmar Farseer, Ironforge Rifleman, or the Murloc we're just not even going to consider. Of all of them, I think the Thralmar Farseer is probably better. Purely because it has a slightly bigger body with a 3 health, and it has Wind Fury. Sorry, dealing 1 damage, it's not really going to do a lot for me. And by saying that, I have doomed this deck to lose to the fact that if only I'd been able to deal 1 damage somewhere. Thralmar Farseer. Another Fiery War Axe. Against a Dark Iron Dwarf. Always pick Fiery War Axes if you have the option. They are really... And a Bloodsail Raider? Yes, please! Shield Slam. Ooh, that's a good piece of removal. How much armor am I going to be developing here? Shield Slam is a good 1-mana card. It's really good. Molten Giant? Decent. It'll be the only giant I have. Shield Slam, I've been presented the option of getting it. I can't really say no. But I do have a lot of weapons. Which means Shield Slam might not get much use. Yeah, Shield Slam. Ooh, an Antique Healbot. And a Slam. Antique Healbot is a really good card. I'll pick that. Right. Defender of Argus, Shield Maiden, or Illuminator. Well, we're not going to have any secrets unless we get a Kezan Mystic, so just eliminate that as an option. It's between these two. Shield Maiden is good, a 5/5 for 6, but we could do with some more taunts. Defender of Argus is a quite nice minion. I'm going to pick that. A 3rd Fiery War Axe. I might draw the limit at 2. Actually, it's just so good. That's the problem. Fiery War Axe is just so good. A 2-drop 3/2 weapon. It's so good. I could end up with a situation where I have a starting hand with nothing but weapons in it, though. Ooh, it is so good. Fiery War Axe is such a good card, and I'm sure I'll regret not picking it, but I need some more minions. I have actually two 5-drops, but Nightblade is not a good minion. I could pick the Jungle Panther. It's okay. It'll trade. It'll fill up my 3-drops slightly. I'm actually going to pick Jungle Panther purely because I already have 2 Fiery War Axes. And I have a Death Spite and an Arcanite Reaper. That's 4 weapons. I have 2 minions that synergize with weapons as well. It's such a good card, though. But I already have so many 2-drops. Just because I have so many cards that cost 2, I need to pick Jungle Panther. I'm going to regret that decision. The ship's cannon has been presented as an option. I have 2 pirates. And now I was just talking about having too many 2-drops, and now the ship's cannon has been presented, and I can actually potentially use it. Although the synergy potentials are quite low. I've got nothing to buff a Mogoshan Warden with. Given the option of having a nice beefy taunt, I might actually pick it. Yeah, I think I might pick the Fen Creeper. Yeah, Mogoshan Warden, no. Ship's Cannon, I just have too many 2-drops. I have 1, 2, 3, 4... I only have 4. Oh, count the Fire War Axes, that's 6. And Battle Rage, 7. Fen Creeper. Ooh. South Sea Deckhand? With all these weapons? Yes, please. Ah. Not great cards. I'd probably think of Darkscale Healer here. Gilblin, I have enough 2-drops. Murloc Tidehunter, no. I think it's Darkscale Healer here. I have no 6-drops. And now I'm probably going to want to pick a Gnomish Inventor. I have a lot of card draw here. Do I want to pick Gnomish Inventor? How many minions do I have that are 3 or less attack? 1, 2, I have a lot of minions that are 3 or less attack, actually. Warsong Commander might be an option here. I have 2. I have a Gnomish Inventor. I have a Battle Rage. I think I'm going to pick Warsong Commander. It's interesting, it's a little bit of a slow play, but I have a lot of minions that could benefit from it. Warsong Commander. Ooh. Ogre War Maul. No, it's too unpredictable. Shadowsun Cleric, on the other hand, always a solid pick. An Ogre Brute or another South Sea Deckhand. Or a War Golem. I only have one 7-drop. I only have one 7-drop. I'm actually going to pick War Golem because I need some late game. Last choice. Argent Commander is being presented as an option? Yes, please! This deck has a lot of early game. It also has 4 weapons in it. And it also has a small amount of late game and some mid game. And a fair few pirates. I'm actually sort of regretting not picking the ship's cannon now. I have 3 pirates. At 4 weapons, there's a good chance they could synergize. I do have Battle Rage to card draw, and I also have the Gnomish Inventor for a bit of card draw as well. Dancing Swords I have some counter card draw, but I have Bouncing Blades as well, and an Execute. And a Shield Slam, so there's a bit of removal. I had some opportunity to pick things like Slam and Cleave, but I didn't pick either of them. And that might be a mistake. The Wild Pyromancer doesn't have a lot to synergize on, and might most of the time just be dropped as a raw 2-drop. We're going to have to see how this goes. I think I made some mistakes in the card drawing there. I probably should have picked the 3rd Fiery War Axe, but there you go. So when we come back, folks, we shall start the arena run proper. Will I get beyond 3 wins? We shall see. I'll catch you then. I'll see you then. Later.